Hello, I'm Chris Casey.
And I'm Kristen Lagana. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll take you behind the scenes of a manhunt to find a suspect that shot a Arundel County police officer, and we'll see what's new at Mago Vista Park. But first, making headlines this week. If you blinked, you might have missed it. The Maryland General Assembly wrapped up its annual legislative session with all the drama we've come to expect. And parking in downtown Annapolis just got a little bit easier too. When the clock struck midnight and the confetti fell, lawmakers had ended a budget stalemate and passed hundreds of bills that now go to Governor Hogan's desk. There was some question as to whether the session would end on time. The legislature was at odds with the governor over about $200 million in education aid and funding for pensions. Those issues were not enough to stop the action, though, and basically the money was put aside for later use if the governor chooses to spend it. Now here's a quick rundown of some of the bills that passed. A moratorium on fracking until October 2017, removing the state mandate that jurisdictions must charge stormwater fees, making it easier to add charter schools, making third-party travel sites pay sales tax, decriminalizing marijuana paraphernalia, establishing a fund to reward whistleblowers. And that's everything you need to know about the Maryland General Assembly in about 1 minute. Not too shabby, huh?
Not shabby at all. But I was walking around downtown Annapolis today, and I gotta say, I thought something was up. No one was walking around. It looked like a ghost town.
Yes, I heard that comment several times today.
Oh yeah. Well, unfortunately, we had some bad news this week. Former State's Attorney Frank Weathersbee died at his home in Crownsville at the age of 71. Weathersbee served the public for more than 4 decades, starting in 1969 as an assistant state's attorney. He retired 2 years ago after 7 terms as the top prosecutor for Arundel County. That's right, 7 terms. Weathersbee will be most remembered for his work to establish the drug court and strengthen resources for victims of violent crimes. He was also someone who didn't seek fanfare, but he didn't mince words either. All of us here at Week in Review offer our condolences to the Weathersbee family and thank Mr. Weathersbee for his many years of service.
Indeed, a man of dedicated service. Everyone is talking about the hero who thwarted an armed robbery in Arnold this week and paid a heavy price to protect the public. At 2 a.m. on April 10th, Corporal Larry Adams stopped by a 7-Eleven in Arnold and was advised of a suspicious man hiding in the bushes. When Adams approached the man, a fight ensued, and Adams was shot as the gunman ran away from him. He was transported to shock trauma and underwent several surgeries. Police responded quickly by finding and arresting the alleged gunman as well as a possible accomplice. A huge outpouring of support came from the community, and Adams is recovering. This photo was posted by the police department of Corporal Adams with the owner of the 7-Eleven. The Annapolis Capitol had this statement by Police Chief Tim Altamari about the incident.
I'd like to talk just a moment about what it means to be a cop in 2015. If you live in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, you are served by one of the best police departments on earth. Hands down. Take the check to the bank. It's the God's truth. And this 710 cops, we're short. We're about 26 short right now. So 680s. 680 cops who go out there night after night, despite all the hurdles that have been put in front of us the last 10 years. And they provide world-class service. And every one of them, every night, is willing to go through what Larry Adams went through on Friday. And they deserve our respect and our approbation. And I'll ask you as we move forward to keep that in mind and to keep sending that positivity to all of them, because we're not done hurting here yet. And we've seen some cops doing stuff for which they deserve to face justice lately. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is a case study in who cops are. This is who 99.9% of the people who put on this uniform in this country, in this free society, every day. This is who cops are. And I'd ask you to remember that moving forward. Thank you very much for coming out.
What a story. Unbelievable. This has had me glued to my phone. It's been everywhere on Facebook, on lots of updates on pages locally. And he really is a hero.
Absolutely. And the thing is, he was caught up in a series of unrelated events. It was just a matter of coincidence that he was in this horrible situation. But, you know, we wish him the best of luck in his recovery.
Speedy recovery.
And thank you to all of our law enforcement officers out there. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be talking to Lieutenant TJ Smith of the Anne Arundel Police Department for an inside look on how Officer Adams is doing and see other things going on in the police department. Take a look at our community calendar for events around town, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back. Today we're honored to have with us Lieutenant TJ Smith with the Anne Arundel County Department of Police. Lieutenant Smith, thank you so much for joining us on the program today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a bit about your experience and your role with the department?
So this is my 16th year with the Anne Arundel County Police Department. I've held various roles in the agency, and right now I'm the Director of Media Relations, which deals with trying to get out as much information to the public as we possibly can on situations involving crime or suspects in the county, managing social media accounts, putting together press releases daily. So we have a pretty big job with a lot of communication involved.
How long have you been in this position?
This is my 3rd year in this position, and you know, it seems to be working out pretty good and enjoy it. You know, it's challenging. The social media platforms seem to change daily, so different ways to connect with the community, and I'm a social person, so it kind of works out for me.
So a great position for you.
Right, absolutely.
So before we go on to anything else, Corporal Adams, as we all know, was shot this weekend, and he is recovering. But can you tell us a little bit about how he's doing and what his situation is right now?
Well, I tell you, it's the absolute worst fear of any one of us as police officers to hear one of your fellow officers say that they've been shot or find out they've been shot. We're so fortunate in Anne Arundel County, and I hate to even bring it up, but we haven't had a fatal shooting of an officer in our county, and that's a big deal. And we've had several officers shot, unfortunately, and the last one was in 2008. So complacency is not a word I want to use. We're well aware of that. But to get that call early Friday morning of this incident, your stomach just hit the ground. But Corporal Adams is recovering. He's still in shock trauma as we speak, but his family's been great. The agency's rallied around him, the community. They had a vigil for him, prayer vigil for him. And again, to see everybody rally around him is what we need, what he needs. And it also just shows, regardless of some of the national news stories that have gone on, the community still trusts and respects the police department in large part. And that crosses all boundary lines, doesn't matter your political affiliation, your ethnicity, it crosses all boundaries. I go out to the supermarket and some people recognize me from the news and they come right up to me and ask me how he's doing. It happened just yesterday, and then it happened several times since this occurred, and they want to know how the officer's doing, and it's from every cross section of life.
Right. Well, obviously, all of us here at Week in Review wish Corporal Adams a quick and speedy recovery.
Absolutely, and we're going to keep rallying around him and hope that he's back on his feet, and everybody's been just so great to us and great to his family.
Right. Well, you know, some social media tips I heard have been instrumental in cases that have come up recently. the police department is using social media. I always see on Facebook to catch a crook, cyber sleuths.
Right.
How's that worked for you? What's that kind of outreach like?
So we started the social media sleuths and the To Catch a Crook, kind of playing off the NBC To Catch a Predator moniker, but we did that to engage the community. They enjoy helping us catch bad people. These people are committing crimes in our community, and it's an opportunity for us to show them. If we get a good photo of them, we're going to put them out. The detectives have embraced it, the patrol officers have embraced it, and we're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and now Periscope, which is a live streaming app. It's only for Apple customers right now, but pretty soon it'll be developed for Android. But it's an opportunity to give the community direct access to us in media relations to hear what they might not hear in the 1.5 minutes on the news for a story. So they get to hear the whole story as opposed to portions of the story. So just a new opportunity to be more transparent, and that's what police departments and governments are trying to do in this 21st century. So we're trying to, grab the bull by the horns and be out there and get the community to help us. If we have a picture of you as a thief in Anne Arundel County, we're going to show you on our Facebook page, and everybody's going to see you, and you're going to get embarrassed.
And Sheriff Bateman might have you on his show.
And Sheriff Bateman will absolutely have you on his show.
That's the dream.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to solve crime, and we've had a number of cases. Probably once a week, we get a tip on social media that leads to a closure in a case.
Wow. So that kind of leads into another point about tips.
Absolutely. I mean, folks are always nervous to call in with a tip, or if they have extra information. Sometimes they might even feel that their tip is insignificant.
Yeah.
Any sort of advice that you can offer to folks out there with tips on a case?
There's no such thing as an insignificant tip. Whether we've gotten that tip 100 times before, it's not insignificant. It's little things, little information that can help break a case open. Little anecdote, I remember a case from a number of years ago when Maryland first got the tags where the website was displayed at the bottom, right. www.maryland.gov. We had a crime committed in the community, and officers were canvassing the area. An officer got a tip from a citizen who said, the one thing I remember is a dark car, and it had the www.maryland.gov tags. I know that's not much, but that's what I remember. That allowed us to narrow down the search, and we ultimately found the vehicle, thankfully, from a small tip like that, which they might have thought was insignificant, but that's what broke the case open. So you never know. You might have seen a dark vehicle, and we just need somebody to tell us they saw this dark vehicle, or they saw this vehicle with R in its license plate. That could actually help us. You never know. These detectives are amazing.
Yeah, you might have the piece of the puzzle that's needed to complete it.
And that's what it is putting together a puzzle, and you are the one in this big game called solving crime that has that piece that helps us locate who this person is.
Yeah.
So even if you think a tip you have is insignificant, or if you're nervous to give that tip, you should definitely call in, give the information that you have.
Absolutely.
Now I have to ask, Pinterest.
Yes.
I am assuming my Pinterest page looks a lot different from yours.
Yes.
What are you using Pinterest for?
Well, I will also freely admit that when I set up this Pinterest account, I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
I know the demographic is mainly women. So we want to go where people are. So we want to go, and I'll tell you this is actually pretty funny. Our biggest tipsters, believe it or not, who do you guys think our biggest tipsters are on certain things?
Grandmothers and mothers.
Well, you're close. Women, ex-girlfriends.
There you go.
They will turn you in for absolutely free. So guys, if you're doing something wrong, your ex-girlfriend will turn you in for absolutely free because she wants you to get busted, which is perfectly okay with us. But we want to go on the platforms where people are. It's more younger people on Twitter than they are on Facebook now. More women are on Pinterest than they are the other platforms at this point in time. So we wanted to take some of our initiatives over to Pinterest. But I've also found some great recipes on Pinterest, so kind of embarrassed to say, but it's been fun because I've cooked some full meals from Pinterest. But we're able to house things there where you can't necessarily, you can create the folders and all on Facebook. You can't find anything on Twitter. So all of the platforms are different, but Pinterest allows us an opportunity to create a folder where everything is, so you can go back today and find what you want from a year ago. So it's just another opportunity to get that information.
So we covered Facebook, Pinterest, crime fighting and cooking. So,
Yes, you're cooking dinner for me and Chris, right?
Right, there you
go.
so I guess only thing else from here is any events coming up soon in the community?
Yes, we have Shredderama. That's an event, an opportunity for the public to come out and turn in all of those papers that you get in the mail, things that have your social security number on them, get them shredded so the people that we're featuring on our Facebook page won't be impersonating you in stores trying to get free stuff by using your identity. So shred your stuff, make sure you bring your Anne Arundel County ID to prove you're a resident. Get rid of it. It's a great event. Hopefully the weather will be nice on that day and you can shred it all up and have a little bit of extra security that nobody's going to steal your identity.
And of course, we can find the date, locations, and times on your Facebook page, which has a huge following.
Our Facebook page, you can just search at AACOPD. That'll get you Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, and that's a great opportunity. If you have tips on any crimes, our tip line is 410-222-4700. And Metro Crime Stoppers is 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. You can remain anonymous. That tip can help us solve a crime.
Fantastic. Lieutenant, I want to thank you so much for joining us
Thank you for
today.
having me.
We look
Appreciate it.
forward to
Thank
our
you, sir.
dinner.
Okay,
we like barbecue. We like, what else do we like?
Anything on Pinterest?
Anything, a kebab, a fancy cheese, whatever.
Well, it's a full course meal. I get desserts and all off
Oh,
Pinterest,
I'm
so it's
so
a full
excited.
course
there.
meal.
We'll come hungry. But thank you so much for joining us on the show
Absolutely.
today. And yeah, make sure that you stop by all these local platforms to help out our police. And we'll see you at Shredderama. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back with more Week in Review.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back. The great weather is here, and that means it's time to get out and enjoy our parks. Sara Gannon is down at Mago Vista Park to preview an upcoming event there. Sarah?
Thanks, guys. Today we're here at the Mago Vista Community Park with Rich Warden, the president of the Mago Vista Civic Association. Thank you. That's a mouthful.
It is a lot. Yeah.
Well, thanks for meeting me today.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the park and your organization?
Well, the Mago Vista Area Civic Association has been around since 1946. It's here before most of the homes in this area were even built. It was by several people who were concerned about the development of the community over a period of time. We were incorporated in 1953 as a C4 not-for-profit organization, and we're basically concerned about the community, safety. The park here is almost 5 acres. It's a part of the original 2,000-acre plantation that was here.
Wow.
And the house for that is down the street here. There's a big brick building built in 1789. So we've been around 67 years. We've been concerned about what's going on in the community. We're really focusing on the community park. And because we have a lot of young families coming in, as you look around, you'll see all these young families coming in here. And we're trying to increase use of the park because the community parks don't have a budget of their own. And they're funded on the basis of the amount of use it is. And we've gotten a lot of good cooperation from County Recreation and Parks. Betsy LeBrod, I want to thank her for that, and I want to thank John Vickers, the district supervisor, for their cooperation. They're really trying very hard for us. And what we've decided, we're going to have a day in the park, and that's a week from Saturday on the 25th. Here in the park, we've got food, we've got music, we're going to have games, we're going to have a fire truck here, and a police squad car, and an ice cream truck. So things are going to be a good day of fun from 11 to 2, and we're just going to have a good day of fun. We really want to encourage the community to use the park and for us to show it. I understand from John Vickers that next year's capital improvement program, they're going to resurface the tennis court, the basketball court, and they're going to put in a fence. And that's one of the things that's important because that fence over they keep playing, and when they lose the ball, it bounces off either into the stream or into the poison ivy. And so they're going to try really hard to get a fence up there for us. So that's done. They've made some recent improvements to the pavilion, And we're just having a good time. There's a lot of use. The Broadneck Athletics uses the baseball field and the soccer field.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of use in the community.
Sure.
And so we're just trying to increase more use in the community out there. And we're interested in other things. For instance, we've got, once the weather gets better and finishes it, we've got a crosswalk over here that we put in to make it safer for young families, women with strollers, to come into the park more safely. People that are handicapped get into this more safely, and that's one more reason to slow down as they go by the area, because the people do come along here at a pretty good clip, pretty good speed. So, but it's just more community support, and I'll put in a plug for you. We're looking for more board members. We've had people on the board that have been on for like 20 or more years, and they're just beginning to have to retire. Our past president just retired. He moved from here over to Salisbury. And his son has moved into their home. So we're hoping to get Scott coming. That's Pete Culp, and we're hoping to get Scott on board with us. And a lot of young families. That's what we're basically doing. That's what we're all about.
Now, can you give them directions to the park?
Yes. If you're down in here, people that are here in the community know where it is.
Sure.
It's on Mago Vista. Drive just beyond about 4 blocks beyond Belvedere Elementary School.
Okay.
On Mago Vista Drive on the right-hand side, left-hand side as you're coming towards us. Towards Magathy Manor and the whole area in here. And it's easy to find, and that day you'll be able to see it there. Look for the fire truck, look for what's going on. And Carrie Glorioso, who lives nearby, will be singing for a couple of hours here.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to
follow the music.
First follow the music, follow the crowd, look at the fun, have the good time.
Great.
This is basically where we are.
Now, do you have a Facebook page or a website that people can look at to get more information?
The Area Civic Association, we got a Facebook page for it and a web page. So, and Facebook, we've got it out on Facebook. And we're just encouraging people to come and have a good time.
Okay.
Bring a picnic lunch, just have a good old-fashioned time in the park.
Is it a free event?
It's a free, at no charge at all.
Okay.
And we're just hoping that people will get more used to it, and we might find some younger people who might step into the leadership positions and help us expand not only just for the park, but issues of safety. We had a problem with an issue of safety on College Parkway that we dealt with, and traffic was very good about that and supporting it. I'm finding, as president, I'm retired, and I used to be a city planner, so I'm familiar with working with, and I find traffic and rec and parks and health have been very helpful.
Great.
The staff is stressed because of what's going on, but they do the best they can. And so we're very happy with the relationship we have, and we're just trying to demonstrate to the community, the more use you get, the more support you get from rec and parks and the county, and there'll be more funding here.
Great.
So this is what we're about.
Well, thank you so much for meeting me today.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you again soon after you have some of your projects done.
And we'll see you next month at our board meeting.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we do. We meet, by the way, we meet the second Thursday of every month in the media room of Belvedere Elementary School.
Okay.
So we invite you, and we invite everybody to come and be a part of our board.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sarah. That plantation house is incredible. You might just miss it if you're driving by. Well, thanks to the community members who are trying to improve the park and celebrate the history of Mago Vista. Such a cool name, Mago Vista. Maybe I could start a band called Mago Vista.
You're starting a lot of bands. You saw her play Saturday, by the way. She does a fantastic job.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
I heard the videos, and I swore they had to have been overdubbed or something, but I saw her. No, it's actually her. She has skill, and she's
truly
got a
do not have
voice.
a voice of an angel.
But you can do a lot more with music than I can. So that's for sure.
Thank you.
If it's not Guitar Hero, I can't do it.
Oh, well, Guitar Hero is a test of skill, Chris,
It
so
is.
don't sell yourself short.
Oh.
So we spoke in the interview today about cooking. I was wondering, do you have any special dishes? How's your cooking?
Well, I don't have a Pinterest.
No.
Don't have one of those.
You should get one.
But we'll have that conversation another time. But cooking is something I've kind of always done.
Okay.
You know, I started out as a little kid baking cakes and making dinner and all that kind of stuff, and almost burnt down the kitchen one time.
Oh no.
But after that, no mishaps. But I love cooking. I can make some good meals.
What would you say is your prize meal? You're trying to impress someone. What do you cook?
Wow, you really got me on the spot here. Prize meal, trying to impress somebody. Well, I'll take it at McDonald's.
Oh,
and you can
Scottish
get any
restaurant.
2 things off of the dollar menu. Any 2 things.
Oh,
maybe 3.
what a charmer. What a
I know,
charmer.
Right? Well, no, on a serious note, I don't know. I'll have to think on that. Maybe
Yeah?
we'll have a
a testing, a taste testing here?
Yeah.
Whose cooking's better? Yours
well,
or mine?
see who's the better cook. We got to find a cooking contest.
Well, there's cooking and there's baking. I think cooking is more of a freedom of expression. You can add spices. You can always change things while you're cooking. Baking is more of a science. You have to follow that recipe to a T, or that sucker's not turning out.
Well, so, either way, I think the point is that we both like food and we both like to cook, and we need to find a cooking contest so I can prove that I am a better cook than
I got a
Kristen
panini
Logano.
press for Christmas. You're in trouble.
She's a better singer, not a better cook.
We'll see.
Well, anyway, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or Google Plus by searching Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights from around the county. We'll see you next time.